What's up, everybody? I'm David.
I'm Jess.
I'm the husband.
I'm the wife.
And we are married.
15 to life.
You like my game show voice? Come on down. You're the next contestant on Married 15 to Life. You don't want to be on the show?
That's a lot of energy for this early in the morning.
I'm happy today. I'm wearing my Super Dad shirt because we have a very, very, very fun thing to talk about today.
Today that we're filming is Lucy's 11th birthday.
Big 8-2-1-11. I'm so excited for her.
That was a weird way to say it.
Yeah, August 21st, 11 years old. Man, I can't believe we already have two kids two kids that are double digits now.
I know.
This is no fun. They get old. We get old.
They're growing up so fast.
They are. But before we get into the meat of everything, how's your morning going?
It's been good. It's been a busy week.
Yeah, we are not the only people that live in our house right now.
Well, they're not living there.
I know.
David's mom and dad are visiting for Lucy's birthday weekend, which we're excited about.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that we have on the docket that you and her and mom are going over to Little Rock for.
Yeah, we're going to go see Tara Lee Cobble from the Bible Recap.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
You want to plug the Bible Recap real quick? You've been doing it 3 years now, right?
I feel like everybody's heard me talk about it. But
on your channel, not on here.
The Bible Recap is it's a recap of the Bible.
Oh, really? Is that what it is?
No, you read a section of the Bible every day. And then Tara Lee Cobble is the one that does it, but she goes over like a 5 to 7 minute video and she recaps what you just read. And it's just been so impactful for me. Sometimes when you read the Bible, especially like in the Old Testament books, you're just like, what does that mean? And I don't understand.
Who is that person?
Yeah,
what did they do?
And so she does a really good job of explaining it, tying it together from places you've already read. And we go chronologically, and this is my third year to go through it. And I just really love it. So I'm not sure exactly I haven't looked into it on purpose because I just want to enjoy it. But I'm not sure if she's going to talk about her testimony, if it's going to be like a recap session. I'm not really sure, but I'm excited about it because I love her.
That would be kind of cool if they do like a live reading of maybe one page of the Bible and then she recaps it with y'all.
Yeah, I have not looked into it, so I have no idea.
Interesting.
But I got your mom on it, and she's done it for a couple years. And I've also told my dad about it, and he's doing it now. And I've told so many of you guys about it.
Yep. I'm doing it right now.
If you're looking for a way to understand the Bible a little bit better, it's a great tool.
Yeah, there's thousands of Bible reading plans out there, and this one, I love how interactive it is. It's really good.
Yeah,
especially for people that are maybe not as well versed in all the
and I feel like I grew up
stuff.
Around the Bible my whole life, but still there's certain parts that are just hard to understand if you're not familiar with a lot of the history and every time I go through it, just like the Bible always is, you learn something new, you see something different. So I just continue on every year.
Absolutely, it's always great to read the only book that you don't read it, but it reads you. So I love that. It's so good, so good. But yeah, so me and Grandpa and Nate
boys
and
night.
Mark and Uncle Kevin have a boys' night, which means we'll probably sit around and do nothing.
I was going to say, what are y'all going to do?
We'll probably do something kind of fun. But I'm also very, very proud. Shout out to my dad, who has been on Optavia for a few months now, and he has lost a lot of weight.
He
looks great. So I'm very thankful for it. I'm keeping a lot of my weight off as well. I'm not to my lowest point yet, but I am going back in that direction. And so
it's hard. Your weight fluctuates so much, but trying to get back in that, when you first start out and you lose, you're just losing so great. We've been kind of plateaued for a little while.
Yeah, but thankfully, if we do trend, we trend down a little bit. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also excited about what we're going to talk about today because as we said in the beginning of this episode, today is Lucy's 11th birthday. And when we got close to Nate's birthday, we told his birth story and Jessica's pregnancy story. And so today, we're going to tell Jessica's pregnancy story of Lucy and her birth episode. And this was the most eventful pregnancy probably that you had.
It definitely was.
So let's start at the very beginning. We had Nate at 1.5 years old, and Because Nate was 1.5 when we
When you talk about when we got pregnant.
when we found out we got pregnant.
Yeah, I found out I was pregnant on your birthday.
Yep.
January 6th.
Happy birthday to me.
2014.
You're gonna be another daddy.
It was so crazy. Like we weren't expecting it at all. And 2 out of the 3 of ours were kind of a surprise. Now Mark was a super surprise.
Yes, he was.
But Lucy was a little bit of a surprise, and we weren't really expecting it. And
we weren't really trying for her, were we?
We weren't really trying, but we weren't super.
Yeah, we weren't
not
being
trying. You know,
we weren't being
super careful.
ultra guarded. Enough said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TMI.
TMI.
I don't really remember our thinking back then. I think we were just trying to survive, honestly. And then, when we get pregnant, and I remember though being so excited because I just thought like. Her and Nate are going to be, they're 2 years, 3 months apart.
That was fun. Let's do it again.
Yeah. And I just thought like, they're going to be so close, you know?
But wasn't there also like a little bit of trepidation of like, I'm still not really sleeping. He's still not really sleeping.
For sure. But I also was like, you know what? We're already up all night. The biggest thing for me, we didn't know that Nate had autism then, but we knew that there was a possibility. Like we had this. So I remember like her pregnancy thinking, you know, I hope everything's okay. Not that we wouldn't love another kid that had autism.
Right.
Nate's an amazing blessing to us. But just that, I remember thinking like, are we going to be able to handle, you know, this with Nate's needs? Or is Nate going to be able to get the same? It's just like anybody who's having a second baby. You feel like, am I going to be able to love them enough? Is it going to take away from the other kid? And just that second baby is kind of like I don't know. It just feels more... You just aren't sure. Like
you really had a fear that you wouldn't be able to split your love between 2 babies.
I feel like that is. I hear so many moms talk about this.
I didn't think that ever.
It wasn't like I didn't think. I know like your heart grows, but my whole world was consumed with Nate. I mean, every bit of my day was Nate. So I remember thinking like, how am I going to divide my time? How am I going to divide my attention, my love, my care? That makes more sense. But yeah, I've heard so many, you guys let us know. I've heard so many people say like, how am I ever going to love another kid as much? Your heart grows, but in the moment you're just like, I just love him so much. How is it going to work to now love 2 with my whole heart? So anyway, her pregnancy started off really great. I'm always nauseous in the first trimester, sleepy more than anything. I am so.
Are you pregnant now?
I'm just busy. And I will say like pregnancy, once you already have one that's running around and stuff, and then you're trying to like, you're exhausted. I remember like when Nate would take a nap, it was not very common. I would just pass out on the couch or whatever. I was so tired all the time. But her pregnancy started off pretty easy. I craved spicy food.
That's how I knew we had a different person. Because you had the sweet
All
bug.
of my pregnancies, though, were different.
Sort of.
They were. Like, I never craved the same thing with any of them.
I know, but in terms of sweet or spicy, you absolutely had a different slant.
Yeah, but like with Mark, it was neither sweet or spicy. So, usually.
But it definitely wasn't spicy.
No, Lucy was the more spicy one. We were living in San Antonio. I was pregnant in the very heat of the summer, which was miserable. I would not plan that again. I mean, I didn't. Well,
you're already jumping ahead. But yeah, the 3rd trimester was the summer months because she was born in August.
It was so hot, y'all. It was miserable. We basically just lived inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, like, I'm trying to remember the exact time I started itching. It was after we found out she was a girl. So let's talk about that first.
Yes.
When I got to 20 weeks, we knew we wanted to find out what the sex is. I was going to ask you this. If we're not going to get pregnant again. But if we ever did, would you ever, I kind of wish we had like done the surprise thing.
For her?
No, just for one of them. Just to experience that.
Okay. So leave it in the comments. If you're parents out there, did you want to know the birth of your baby, or did you actually deliver and give birth and then find out at that time what gender the baby was?
In the moment, I wanted to know with all of them because I'm a planner and I'm a prepper.
I'm a planner too.
But now that I look back, I'm like, I wish we had done the surprise thing.
I think for Mark, we could have gotten away with it. But for Lucy, I'm glad we didn't.
So we go in. You and Nate were there too because we didn't have anybody to watch him.
Nope.
And I was fully anticipating them saying boy. We have boys on both sides of our family.
Yep.
And I remember this like it was. There's a few moments in her pregnancy that I remember like the exact moment.
Me too.
But the night before we were to go find out, Actually, your mom and dad may have been in town. They were in town.
Were they?
Yes, because remember we went and ate with them right before. And then you told them in the parking lot before they left it was a girl.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure.
We FaceTime your mom and dad.
Well, we just called them. Yeah. So anyway, okay. So the night.
I just remember seeing the screen.
So
of
Nate
somebody.
was not with us. He was with them. They were there. Anyway, the night before, Nate was having a really hard time sleeping. And we had done this thing, which I feel like all parents do, where you put him in the car and we would just drive around and we would just get him to calm down and he would go to sleep. And then, of course, we had to transfer him. And I don't know if it ever worked that great. But I remember driving him around and I never.
Speaking of which, I really hate to derail you. Please hold your thought. But a little while ago, I said I kind of wish Nate would go back a couple of years where he was running all over the house. He's starting to do that again. And now I take it back.
Yeah, and he's big and he about runs into you.
Because now that he's doing it again, he's so big it shakes the house. When he was 10, it wasn't as heavy, and so he didn't do it. But yeah, I'm sitting there on my computer, and all of a sudden I hear, and Nate's just running laps.
When you said that last week, I'm like, he still does that all the time.
Well, it was more than last week, but
it was just a couple weeks ago.
It was when we did our for school. Kids to school episode, which
2
was
weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
Anyway,
but yeah, go. So we were driving around in the car.
You weren't. Me and Nate were, and he had just started to settle down. And I never prayed either way for the sex of the baby. Like I'm like, God, you know what we need. We trust you.
Give us the children you want us to have.
Give us the children you want us to have. Please let the baby be healthy. And there's so many emotions going into that anatomy scan because there can be a lot of stuff they find wrong, but then that happens. And so I was really anxious.
And now with today's technology, they can know so much in such an early amount of time. They can know the baby's height, what the baby's hair color is going to be, eye color. Oh yeah. They can determine all of that way earlier than they used to.
Well, it's crazy. But anyway, I don't know about color. Anyway, so I'm driving around and I just remember praying that everything was going to be okay. And of course, there's a lot on my mind. And I just remember saying, God, I do not want to tell you what to do, but I would love a daughter. I would love to have a daughter. I have such a close relationship with my mom.
Gabriel, I need my gloves. I need to make an adjustment here.
I just was like, I will love if it's a boy too. And I honestly felt like it was going to be a boy because we just have so many boys in our family. Yeah. And I just figured.
And we were content with that.
And I was okay with it. But I just was like, I would love to have a daughter. I just would love to have a daughter. And we didn't really talk about it or anything. But
no, I wanted a girl too.
But I didn't want to be disappointed. Like that's my thing. I never want to see the sex of the baby and be like, oh man, And so I was really trying to guard my heart and not be too like, I'm going to be devastated.
Which is why a lot of people, I think, don't want that because then, you get what you get on the day you give birth. And in that moment,
and you're so happy.
That, the gender doesn't matter to you. But yeah, there's a lot of, I think we talked about this at one time on one of these episodes. There's a lot of people that are really like anti-gender reveal and anti-baby showers because they don't want to invite any of those feelings in.
Well, and some people are disappointed. And I think it's a natural feeling. So I don't think it's anything wrong with you if you feel disappointed. Like if you have 4 girls and then
you really want a boy
and then you find out it's a girl again, there is going to be some disappointment. But I didn't want to feel that. Like I wanted to be grateful for the kid that we got.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
But I remember just thinking like, oh man, it would be so cool if I had a girl. Like I just would love that, to have that experience. So we go and we ate lunch. I remember eating lunch with your mom and dad at Alamo Cafe, which is one of our favorite places.
Yes.
And
it's because you were craving spicy food.
Always.
You wanted the spicy salsa.
And I remember drinking, they're like, you need to drink something sugary. And I never do that.
Because when you do, the baby starts bouncing moving around.
Yeah. And she would always be really, she was not very active as opposed to Nate, who was always super active. And so I remember downing some sweet tea, which is not my favorite thing. And we went into the appointment.
She just drank a regular Coke or something.
I don't like that either. But anyway, I think I just drank one of y'all's that you had left over. Anyway, so I drank that and we went in, and at our appointments there, maybe this is everywhere, but specifically I remember at this office, you would go in for the ultrasound first.
Right.
And then they would take you back to the doctor. And I remember, them asking us if we wanted to know the sex. And I was like, yeah. And she immediately said, it's a girl. And I just remember
time stood still.
I just remember being shocked. Like, oh my gosh.
If y'all watch these episodes, y'all know Jessica's got very wide eyes. And so, yeah, when she looked up at me, I don't think I've ever seen your eyes as wide as I did in that moment.
I was so happy. I just couldn't believe it. when we say we have boys in our family, both sides, like we
Yes.
had like no girls.
Yes. On my dad's side, there are 9 grandsons. On my mom's side, there's 7 grandsons, no girls
I'm
on
the
either side.
only girl cousin, both sides of the family. You know, and I know that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with it, but we're used to hearing boy,
Yes.
boy, boy. And I love my boys, but I just remember being like, oh my gosh, we're having a baby girl, and just being so excited. Like I was on cloud 9. And I remember at that appointment, they had found like a white spot on her heart. Do you remember that?
I do.
And I was really kind of freaked out about it by our doctor. She was so reassuring. She's like, it's going to be okay. I'm pretty sure that this is going to just be something that goes away. And it did. We never had an issue with it. Or a bright spot. They called it a bright spot, which I don't even know.
What does that mean?
I don't really know. I think it was just who knows. But anyway, she never had another ultrasound. Every other time looked perfect.
Right.
So a little bit after that, I can't remember the exact timetable of when it all hit the fan, when the crap hit the fan.
It wasn't much longer after that.
I was probably nearing my 3rd trimester.
Yeah. Middle to end of your 2nd. Yeah.
Yeah. I woke up and I remember it was a Saturday morning, and I'd had, like I said, a pretty easy pregnancy. No complicated. I never have preeclampsia. I never have gestational diabetes. Like I usually have pretty good pregnancies. And I remember being super itchy and just like really itchy. My palms, like I was just like clawing myself. I thought that's really weird. Like it just came on me so fast.
So we thought maybe, is there something wrong with our water?
Yeah, I was like thinking, and then of course I start Googling, and there's a lot of reasons you can itch in pregnancy, but I started seeing this thing called cholestasis, and it is very dangerous, and it's your liver causing issues. And
issues as in?
It's not, I can't remember the exact, it's not clearing the bile or something. And what happens is, they're not even really sure the mechanics of what happens, but it's very deadly to the baby. And
basically the liver treats the baby as a hostile.
No, that's not it. They don't listen to medical stuff with David.
Okay.
No, that's not it. They're not really sure, but something about the levels can impact the baby, and it's really fast. It's not like, so finding it's a really good thing, because a lot of people wake up itchy and stuff, and their doctors will kind of be like, oh, well, you know, it's probably whatever.
Yeah, rub some lotion on it.
Yeah. And so they don't know about it. They don't get treated and watched very carefully. And there's lots of babies that pass away. And so I had read this, and I called the hospital just to tell them I was really itchy. And of course, it's a Saturday, like my doctor's not on call. And so they told me to come into labor and delivery and let them look at me.
Right.
And we had Nate, you know.
Absolutely.
So we go in.
Did I keep Nate home, or did we all go
No, we
in?
all went. And they said they ended up admitting me and running some blood work, because they first before they decided to admit me, they ran some blood work, and my liver enzymes were elevated.
Yes.
And the test, I should have looked this up. Back then, and in all my pregnancies, I was super versed on this. I could have told you everything about cholestasis, intrahepatic cholestasis of pregnancy.
ICAP.
But they check different levels, and the one that they check, bile acids, takes several days to come back with results. So they were like, we're going to admit you because your liver enzymes are elevated, but the bile acid test is going to take a few days. So we're going to go ahead and admit you. We're going to put you on the monitor. We're going to watch the baby. I think they gave me like some Benadryl or something.
Oh yeah. This is the weekend they kept you 2 days.
They kept me 2 days. And all I kept saying is I want to see my doctor, but she wasn't on call. So, and I didn't really like the doctors on. It always ends up where you don't like the doctors on call, you know?
Of course.
And so they admitted me, and I remember being like, what? Like I have a 1-year-old he was almost 2. I have a almost 2-year-old at home. This was Saturday, so tomorrow's Sunday.
Yep.
How are we going to do this?
And there's no way our parents can make a trip overnight.
No,
very quickly.
I mean, they're 18 hours away.
Yep.
And so I remember I remember it so clearly. I'm sitting there hooked up to everything. They're trying to find me a room, and both of our phones are dead.
Yes.
And I had called before it went dead. I called Jen, and she had like a birthday party she was going to or something, but I told her what was going on, and I was like, is there any way you could take Nate just for the day, just for a few hours. And she said, yes. So you left to
Yes.
go drop him off with her.
Yes.
And to get our chargers and stuff. And so when you left, I was laying in that bed for a couple hours. It felt like forever. I wasn't in a room yet, so I didn't have a TV. I didn't have my phone. And all I could do was just lay there and think, like, holy crap, what am I going to do?
Yep.
And I knew, like, they were...
A lot of free time to pray in that moment.
I just was so scared. And I just was like, I just wish I could talk to somebody. I could call somebody. I could even watch a show or something to get my mind off of this.
There's no TV in the room?
No, I was in like a triage room until they could find me a hospital bed or like a room. So they finally found me a room. And of course, you know, they would come in like every so often and do like a non-stress test several times. They did ultrasounds and stuff. And we were basically just waiting. And that was my whole thing. Like, what am I doing laying here when we don't even have the results yet? Like,
Right.
But at the same time, if somebody says your daughter's, you know, I'm just glad they were taking it, you know, carefully. We were just stressed on how we were going to make it through Sunday.
Yes.
Because you had 2 services in the morning, and then you had a service in the night. And I'm like, what are we going to do? Like, I can't keep Nate at the hospital.
And as we've stated in a previous episode about our Texas, this was not exactly the church culture where, oh yeah, if you've got a wife in the hospital, you can skip church.
There was no pass. No, there was no pass. There was nobody that could fill in for you. It was just not going to happen. We tried. It was not going to happen. So I remember y'all leaving that night, because y'all, you know, you had to get Nate to bed and all that. And I guess you had brought him back up to the hospital after you got him from Jen or something. But I remember y'all leaving, and I just was like, it was the first time really I had been away from Nate overnight like that.
Yeah, you did not take that well.
I was so emotional. Like, I just felt so torn. Like, again, that feeling of now my attention's divided for real.
Yes.
And I just was like, I don't know how we're going to get through this. Like, anyway.
And then didn't we call one of our caretaker women to stay with him?
So what happened was Nate was just in the nursery like all day at church.
Yeah.
But he was spoiled rotten. They all loved him, and he did fine. But he had to go. I think somebody kind of watched him while you were doing sound check.
Yeah.
And
then when nursery opened, they put him in.
And he was in there for first service, second service. You went and got him. And then on Sunday, we were just waiting for me. They were pretty much saying we're going to probably discharge you on Sunday, because I had an appointment with my doctor on Monday morning already. So they're like, well, we can just probably discharge you on Sunday. So we were waiting all day for my discharge, and it was not happening, like, you know how weekends are at the hospital.
And while you were doing that during church, because I wanted to let you know that I was thinking of you, I put you on FaceTime on my phone, and I laid you on the piano. And so you got to listen and watch the church service.
I could see like our choir behind you and see you.
And I think we still have a picture of this somewhere, because there was just something. We didn't have live stream yet. And so there was, I wanted to let you know that, you know, you weren't alone in all of this. And so I made sure, and I think I even changed one of the songs in the set to like Healer or something like that, because I wanted
I was scared because, you know,
because I was interceding and praying in the middle of that service for you.
When they say like the consequences of this condition that you could possibly have is deadly to your baby.
Yeah. That's what every parent wants to hear.
It was awful feeling, you know, and it's not like, it's just, it can be really fast.
Yeah.
It's like they're fine 1 minute, they're gone the next. They went ahead and started me on the medicine for this condition. I forget what it was called, Actigol or something. And it's supposed to help lower the bile acids. And once you're diagnosed with this condition, you have to have non-stress tests twice a week. So they hook you up and they watch the baby's heart rate and stuff. You have to, you are automatically going to be induced at 37 weeks.
Yes.
I think,
if not sooner.
Yeah. Though they watch the baby, but as long as everything's going to be okay, you don't go longer than 37 weeks. Cause after 37 weeks, the mortality rate goes way up for the baby. And so with the bile acid test, diagnosis is anything above 10. And mine, so I went into the doctor the next morning on Monday, and I still hadn't got my results yet.
Yeah.
But she was able to get the results, and she came in and she's like, yours is 17.
Yeah.
Now that's high, but some people's are in the hundreds.
Right.
And I remember, I love my doctor in Texas. I remember looking at her and I'm like, how freaked out do I need to be about this? And she was like, you're going to be okay. Like, we're going to take care of you and the baby's going to be okay. But it was scary. Like I would go home from the appointments after, being like, okay, she looks good on the non-stress test. But then you're just like,
you're carrying around a ticking time
that's
bomb.
what it felt like. And it just felt like I wanted to feel her move. If I didn't feel her move, I was really nervous. And like, it was just like this horrible, like anxiety filled.
I can't imagine.
It was just horrible. And it like to know that like your body is the one that's doing it. It just was awful. Like, of course, like not intentionally.
Right. And I did my best on purpose not to talk about it and like not to bring it up and like only just to check on you, like I normally do every day anyway. How you feeling?
Well,
What's
do you
going on?
remember like, okay, so I was still super itchy and like itchy to the point of it's awful and it's hot. Like it's so hot.
Weren't you like taking oatmeal baths and stuff like that too?
We tried everything.
Everything, yeah.
But anytime I got hot, it got worse.
Yes. And guess what? Her third trimester is in the middle of the summer.
Yeah. And the only thing that sort of worked, the medicine did help bring my bile acids down, but I was still super itchy. So I took Benadryl like around the clock, which makes you
tired,
exhausted. And so we made the decision because I couldn't take care of Nate. I was so exhausted all the time from the Benadryl. So we made the decision to put him in daycare. The only time he's ever been in daycare because our church had a daycare attached in the same building.
And pastors can put one child in for free.
Yeah. We got free tuition. And so we're like, while this is going on,
let's just take advantage of this.
Building.
He can ride with me to the church when I go to work, and I can put him in the daycare.
That was so hard. I just felt so guilty for that.
Because your dream job is to be a stay-at-home wife and mom.
And he had a hard time at daycare. We didn't know he had autism.
Yes.
But he had a really hard time there. He wouldn't really eat the food. No. He wouldn't nap.
He wouldn't be still.
No, he wouldn't line up. Like, of course, they were accommodating and super great with him and everything, but he didn't fit like into the daycare mold.
No.
And so you would pick him up like during nap time and drive him around. That was just a short season. But by the time I had Lucy, he was already, I think, out of the daycare.
Yeah, it was very temporary.
It was maybe like a month.
And I think a lot of the teachers were happy it was temporary because,
he was sweet. He was sweet.
They don't want to be mean, especially to a pastor who's there, but they were all like, look, Nate's not this isn't good for him.
Yeah,
he's not acclimating
He
well.
wasn't like if we had done that to Mark would have been crying, missing us. It wasn't
Absolutely.
that.
No.
Like he's all for going to play and stuff, but we didn't know. We knew that he had some issues, but we didn't know he had autism. And so it makes perfect sense why it didn't go well.
Absolutely.
He just, the sensory needs and all of that. So
not like now where he's the rock star of his school.
Oh yeah. Well, they, now he's in special needs class. Like they have people that know what to do.
He's got what he needs now.
And he's come a long way since he was 2.
Yes, he has.
So anyway, does that pretty much cover the pregnancy part?
I mean, I think the only thing though, do you remember any, other than spicy, do you remember anything else specifically that?
I remember Jen throwing me a surprise baby shower.
There we go.
And she took every piece of furniture out of her living room and y'all, it was insane. It was so many people. Insane. So many people. And the thing that meant the absolute most to me, I missed my family so much, and I missed Alabama so much, and all my friends and my friend Shay and all these people that couldn't be there because we're too far away.
Right.
She contacted all of them and had them all send gifts to her. And so after I thought I was all done opening presents from everybody that was at the shower,
she brought all those gifts out.
She started playing Sweet Home Alabama, and I was like, what is this? And she brought out gifts from all of these people that meant so much to me. She had my friend Shay on FaceTime so she could help watch, or she could watch. And I just remember being like, how thoughtful is that? It literally made me cry. It was so sweet. The fact that she went to all that trouble of moving all that furniture, putting in tables. Like, y'all, there was so many people at that baby shower. And Jen's house that house is a lot smaller than the one that she's in now.
Yeah.
And so it's just such like an amazing friend thing that she did. And at a time where I was not doing well mentally.
Right. Absolutely. And it brought I remember to me of how we announced to our team that we were going to have a baby.
Yeah.
Because when we initially were like, okay, we're pregnant, and you're trying to find out, okay, let's get past the.
Yeah, we waited until past the first trimester.
Because even into Mark's pregnancy, that first miscarriage, it just haunted us. And so we were like, we're going to definitely make sure we at least get to a place where the baby's very viable, and there's a very good chance we probably won't miscarry now. And Nate was talking. He was babbling at this point, and so I remember we held up the camera and got him to say baby.
Yeah, he's a baby.
Baby. And so he kept just walking around saying it, and he said it in a way where you're like, is he just singing like Justin Bieber or something? Like, what is this?
I don't think that song was out then.
It was. And then we
put it like on a video.
We segued that into a picture of her ultrasound.
And then we played it like at a practice. Everybody was like, "What?" Like nobody got
like,
it.
Baby. like the change in faces at the picture.
Yeah.
They were, and it was uproar cheers. Everybody was so
Everybody
excited.
Was so excited. Yeah.
It was great. Yeah. So I wasn't shocked at all when you came home and said, David, there was no furniture in the room. Everybody was there.
You were with us. You were there. You and Nate were there. So you weren't shocked when I came home. You were shocked when you were there.
I don't remember being there.
You were there. There's pictures of me and you sitting at the table. Yeah, you were there.
Oh,
and Nate was there running around. Yeah,
that's right.
She had this.
I remember Nate's baby shower more than hers. I don't think that whole time was such a blur.
I know. We were so stressed out with everything. Like honestly, it was awful. So anyway, I remember one of my last appointments with my doctor. She said, okay, you'll be at 37 weeks, I think, on Wednesday, but I'm on call on Wednesday. So let's set up a time after that for you to be induced. And I remember being like, as soon as you're back on call, that's when it's going to be. Like, get this baby out. And so we set it up for Thursday, August 21st. And I remember both of our parents, sides of the family, but your mom and dad, my mom and dad.
How far in advance did we know that was the day? Because we had to tell them.
Well, we knew it was going to be that week for weeks and weeks. We were trying to get to 37 weeks. And then we set that up probably a week or so in advance.
Yeah, so they all knew, try to get out there as soon as possible.
And I remember the night before she was born, Mom came a little bit early and helped me get the nursery ready and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the night before, your mom was in town, your grandma. And
do you still have a lot of Lucy's baby, like hanging stuff and door hanger and all that stuff? Do you still have that anywhere?
Her door hanger is still in her room. Her door that Mom made for her hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have I kept some baby stuff, not a ton.
Right.
But I remember all of our family went out to eat together and just thinking like tomorrow, it's so weird being induced.
Yes.
Because with Nate, we didn't know.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, we're all like, it's not like Nate's pregnancy where everybody comes out a week and then they make us wait a whole week before he comes.
Yeah, we knew. And like the nervousness going into it. Okay, 37 weeks. Nate was born at 41.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is she going to be okay? Is she going to be okay to breathe? Is she going to be big enough? Is she going to, And on the ultrasound, I'd had many ultrasounds because of the high riskness of this.
Yeah. And thankfully, even in the last
she all looked good.
And thankfully, even in the last 11 years, technology's advanced so much. Now they could save a baby at 20 weeks.
And that's the thing. Like they knew when they could have taken her earlier.
Right.
But then you have to weigh the risk of
any potential problems.
Yeah, we didn't
let's wait as long as we can. Let the baby develop as much as we can.
It's a risk of how long do you keep
let
them
that cake bake as long as you can let that cake bake.
Because like our first reaction was when we found out about this, we'll just take her out,
Yeah.
But they're like, well, there's risk with being premature too, and so we got to weigh that,
Absolutely.
And once my levels started going down and all of that, they were more comfortable to let her wait.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so. What was I about to say before that?
That we were all eating at dinner. That tomorrow was going to be the day we were going to see her.
I remember us all going in to look at her nursery and just being so excited. And so,
of course, we prayed for you and prayed for her.
I remember going to sleep. I remember this with Mark too, but going to sleep the night before, like knowing you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to go into the hospital. It's such a weird feeling. So I remember Mom and Dad were staying with us, and they were going to stay with Nate.
Yep.
And we got up super early. I think we had to be at the hospital like 6 a.m. or something. Because we left when it was still dark. And I remember we go into the hospital. This is another thing that I remember so vividly. I remember changing into the hospital gown in the bathroom and just being like, I remember exactly what it looked like and just being like, I hope everything goes okay. Yep. I cannot believe I'm going to meet my daughter today.
Yes.
I remember them getting like their little hat with a bow ready. And I was so excited for the hat with the bow because I always wanted to do that. And so they started the induction.
Yep.
And they started like Pitocin on me. And I was already having contractions. They weren't super strong. It wasn't super noticeable. But when they hooked me up, I was already having contractions.
Yeah, your body was like, get this baby out.
Yeah. So they hooked me up. After, I don't remember how many centimeters. I knew I wanted an epidural.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I remember asking for the epidural when they started getting, painful. They broke my water and all that after the epidural, and everything seemed okay.
Until
I was like 7 or 8 centimeters, and
you were screaming in
At
pain.
first, it was like, I'm feeling a lot more than I feel like I should.
Remember my vasectomy story? This was kind of that, except more intense.
And I remember like just being like, I don't think I'm supposed to. And so
I'm not supposed to be feeling this.
Yeah, it was just, and it kept getting worse and worse to the point where I can't even talk through them. I'm like, this is the worst pain I've ever been in. And I remember them being like, the doctor came back in, she's like, we're going to push some more. Cause with your IV, they can always give you more,
right.
Not the IV, but the epidural is like a tube in your spinal cord, and they can always push more.
Yep.
So they were pushing it, and they're like, I'm like, I am not getting any relief. Like, It is not working. I remember you and my mom standing over me, breathe, like y'all are trying to coach me and breathing. I'm like, don't breathe on me. Get away from me. Like
So I finally said, y'all, would y'all please check it? Maybe something went wrong.
And I'm like 7 or 8 centimeters. So it's like, it's getting.
I remember the hospital room so distinctly.
Me too.
It was like the biggest room we've ever delivered in. It was a big room.
I don't know. Mark's, I think, was bigger, but anyway. And so they finally checked I remember, I think her name was Dr. Tingle, was the anesthesiologist.
Appropriately.
I know.
Absolutely appropriate.
And I remember her coming in, and she's like, your epidural completely fell out. Like, it's not even in there
we're
anymore.
I'm surprised you didn't have like fluid all over your back from where the stuff was supposed to be.
Maybe she just meant it wasn't in the right place or something, but she's like, it's not,
You're not getting anything.
You're not getting anything. And so she's like, I can restart it, but we got to start it all the way over. And if you've ever had epidural, I'm all for them, but they aren't like the most easy thing to do, because you have to sit like hunched over you. And while you're contracting, while you're in the worst pain of your life, you can't move around. They've got a needle in your back.
Yes.
And so I'm at 7 or 8 centimeters in extreme pain, but at the same time, I'm like, I will do whatever it takes to restart it.
Yes.
And so I remember they like kind of waited for one of my contractions to pass, and it was so hard, but we got it back in. And I was so relieved.
Yes, me too.
After that, I've
never seen you like that.
It was awful. Like I more power to all the women who can do it without an epidural. I feel like if I had been a little bit further along, I would have had to just do it without epidural. And it was horrible.
And then you'd resent Lucy the rest of your life for all the pain she caused you.
No, I wouldn't. And I remember too, like for some reason, my blood pressure kept going down or up. I think it was going up. My heart rate was going up.
Well, yeah, you're in a lot of pain.
I think though, like it was just doing weird stuff all day. And so I remember them all the time coming in like, take deep breaths. Anyway, so once we got that, I was feeling much better. And I remember my doctor coming in before all this got bad. And she's like, I just want you to know 37 weekers, it can go either way in terms of them needing to go to the NICU. She's like, I just want you to be prepared. Feeding may be difficult. Nursing may be more difficult. We're going to have NICU in there so that if there's any issues, they can take her, but she's going to be okay.
Yes.
It may take her a little bit longer to,
get to a normal place.
Yeah. So it comes time to push. And I feel like I didn't push a super long time with her.
No.
It wasn't long at all.
No, your entire labor process was just a few hours.
Well, she was born at like 4 PM. So it was long. It was a long day. We got there at like 6 or 7 in the morning.
But I'm talking about actually from the moment you really started pushing.
Oh, that wasn't long at all.
Yeah, that wasn't long at all.
It wasn't even a few hours. It was just a few minutes probably, maybe 30 minutes or something. It wasn't long. Like for Nate, I pushed for hours.
Well, I mean, the whole thing of you're feeling contractions, they ask you to start pushing, your epidural has to be reset. That took a little bit.
No, I wasn't pushing before the epidural.
You just said they made you push a little bit.
No, I'm saying about pushing medicine.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't pushing. I was only like 7 or 8 centimeters. You don't push till you're 10.
My bad.
No, they were pushing medicine into my epidural. Anyway, no, I was only pushing for just a few minutes. And I remember she was born and the doctor immediately put her on my chest. I remember just looking at her like, oh, she's so cute. And then
looks just like your daddy. I'm just kidding.
She's a good mix, I think.
No,
she kind of looks like me.
She looks like you.
She looks like me, but she has there's
some melting in her.
Yeah, she looks a little bit like your mom too, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember after just a minute, they were like, we need to check her out a little bit because she was having a little trouble breathing. It wasn't dramatic, but
no.
And so,
Yeah, her cry wasn't normal.
and they're like, they think there's just a little bit in her lungs. So we need to get that cleared out. And so I remember they were about to just like take her off me. And NICU was like coming, like all the rest of the NICU people were coming to the bed to like take her out. And I remember my doctor just advocating for me. And she's like, look, the NICU's not here yet with the stuff. Just let her be on mom for a minute.
Yeah.
And I remember holding her, and it wasn't just a minute later, and they took her out. And that was the hardest thing I've ever, because none of my other and I know some people, their daughter or their kids have to go to NICU for months. Like I can't imagine.
Right.
And so,
but thankfully they said Daddy can go down and watch.
Yeah. And I was like, David, go with her. And so they ended up taking her to like a transitional unit.
Yes.
And just watching her. She never really had to have any interventions or anything.
Hopefully I can find the video of me talking to her.
I just saw it come up on Facebook.
And I can, then I'll mute it and put it on top of this. But yeah, that moment he
was sending me videos because I was just upset.
I was praying and just watching her and just trying to talk to her. And Lucy and I mean, daddy-daughter is a real thing, but Lucy and I have always had a very, I'm trying to get emotional. We've always had a very special relationship. Yeah. And it started in that moment that there's this girl that is completely helpless right now, and Daddy will do anything and everything to protect her.
I know.
And just to be able to sit there and just speak that over her and say, you're going to be okay. God's got you. Your name is Lucy. And we just started declaring all those things, and I just started, prophesying over her, because for those of y'all that don't know, Lucy means bearer of light or lighted one. And Lucy completely embodies that. She is the light in any room she's in. She brings so much light. And it's just in that moment, I don't care how many babies were in there. There was one baby glowing, and it was the one I was looking at. She was, oh my gosh, so beautiful.
And I remember like my whole pregnancy, I was telling everyone, you're not going to hold her for a while. Like I need to get my hands on her and hold her for a long time. Like I just wanted her alive here on this side of the world.
You had been through a war to protect her.
Yeah. And I was just like, and so for her to just be like ripped out of my arms like that,
I know you were horrible. You were bawling.
It was horrible. And I remember your mom and dad and my mom and dad came in, and they had told me like, as long as she does okay, you'll probably get her back this afternoon, like later on tonight.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like they didn't think it was real bad, but I feel like, is that true? Or are they just trying to comfort me? And I remember them coming in, and they're like, grandparents can go see her if they want to. And all of our moms and dads were like, yes. And I remember just losing it.
Yes.
Because I'm like, y'all all cannot leave me.
Right.
And I want to be there when y'all see her for the first time. I can't be. And I remember your mom saying like, I'll stay with you. I'll stay with you. And so ended up, all of them stayed with me.
Yes.
And it just meant so much to me, even though I know they wanted to see her.
Thank you, Nani and Poppy and Grandma and Grammy and Grandpa, for having so much character and not being selfish in that moment. I really appreciate it.
And so you were sending us pictures and videos and stuff.
Yes, everybody's good to see a lot.
I remember your mom and dad had left the room. Of course, they had to like clean me up and all that.
Daddy tried to sneak down. No, he didn't.
No. Well, who knows? As long as I don't know, I didn't know in that moment.
He didn't try that.
But I remember calling your mom, and I was so hungry. And I remember like, can you bring me food? And they were like in the hospital had like a McDonald's.
Yep.
And so she brought me a Big Mac and fries, and that was like the best tasting food ever.
Yeah,
I was so hungry and so emotional. And so later that afternoon, they said, you can go down, once I was all stable and unhooked from everything, they're like, you can go down and try to breastfeed her. And
did they wheelchair you down?
Yes.
Yeah, say they had to. You couldn't walk.
And they had told me like, she is probably not going to be very good at breastfeeding at first because she's so young. Like she's young, and they usually have trouble with that. Y'all, it was instant. Like she got it. Like,
yep.
And I remember just like,
as opposed to her big brother
and her little brother, they were too impatient.
Yeah.
And I just remember holding her and being like, she's going to be okay. Like she's got this.
Yes.
She was so tiny, 6 pounds, 14 ounces, our tiniest baby. She was so little, so petite. I remember being like, she is tiny.
Yes.
And my back was like killing me because there was no like supports. I'm in a wheelchair, like trying to breastfeed her, but I would have sat there all day.
Yes.
And so I did that. They brought me back up to my room, and it wasn't long after that they brought her, and they're like, she's okay. She can be with you now. And I just remember feeling so relieved that she was okay. She was in our room. We had Nate come in and meet her. Do you remember that?
Yes. Baby.
And just like thinking about their relationship now, it's just so sweet to think about them.
Who would have thought that little baby was already barking orders at Big Brother?
I know. She's so funny with him. And that, like, they love each other so much. They love each other so much. They're best friends. And so thinking about them meeting the first time was just so sweet.
Yeah. How long did we stay in the hospital?
We were there. She had jaundice. All of our kids had jaundice.
All of them did.
It's so common. I think most babies do.
Got to sleep under the lamp thing.
And I was so
like
exhausted. And like immediately I stopped itching though.
Yeah.
But I remember from
the reason you're itching's out of you.
Yeah. But the moment, what was I about to say? I forget what I was about to say. I had something in my head.
I asked you how long she stayed with us.
Yeah. And
how long we had to stay in the hospital.
Yeah. So I was going to say something else, but I forgot what it was. She had jaundice. I know. I was so mentally and emotionally exhausted from her pregnancy that, and I was just exhausted. And so I remember we kept her in our room the first night. And then the second night you were like, let's let the nursery watch her over. Cause they were like, we'll take her at night so you can sleep. And I never wanted to do that, but I was exhausted and you're recovering from a major event, labor and everything. And so I remember we did, and I would get up and still pump every couple hours because I wanted my milk to come in.
Yeah.
And anyway, so she ended up having jaundice, and she was in there we were there a couple nights. I don't think she ever had to have the blue lights like the boys did. I think I think they just kept her bed near the window. Yeah. And, I think we ended up giving her a couple of bottles because that kind of helps move. That's like the only bottle she ever took in her life. Yes. Because she refused after that. But it kind of helps things move along. And she had jaundice for a long time, but they said it's called like breast milk jaundice or something. It's not the dangerous kind. Right. Just like her coloring was weird for, I feel like a couple months until all that cleared. But and then she turned into the most cute, beautiful little toddler. Oh my gosh. She was tiny when we left the hospital. She was just over 6 pounds. I think she was like 6 pounds, 5 ounces when we left the hospital. They lose a good bit of their birth weight. And I just remember like she was just so little. She was so little. And once we got home, Mom and Dad were going back after a few days. They were going back home, and Mom wanted to bring my grandmother back out to see her in a couple weeks or maybe a week or so. So they ended up taking Nate with them because it would have been hard. Oh, yeah. It was hard even after that. But so Nate went home with them, and then my grandmother came back out when they brought him back. And so now that my grandmother's passed, it was just such a special time. She got to spend time with you and Lucy. She got to hold Lucy. 4 generations of girls. Yeah. It was such a special time. I'm so glad we have those pictures and memories. Remember me and you and her and Nate went to the circus? The first time I left Lucy she was only like a little over a week old. Yeah. And we took Nate to the circus with my grandma, my nanny. It was a weird experience. That circus was kind of weird. That was a weird circus. But it's not so much circus we've ever been to. I know they don't have really circuses. They don't do them anymore. Yeah. But oh my gosh, I was so thankful she was okay. And after that, anytime anybody says they're even a little bit itchy and they're pregnant, I'm like, you better get that checked. You better get it checked. And I know we're not into Mark's pregnancy yet, and we won't be till February. But with his pregnancy, oh my gosh, I was on guard. I even had them check it a few times, the levels, because I was like, we're not like, we ain't playing around with this. No, I know that you're more likely if you have it once to have it again. It's not for sure. Right. But you're more likely. And also it's hereditary. It can be like hereditary a little bit. There's a genetic link to it. So when Lucy, I will be all over that situation if she ever has a baby, because that was a scary thing. I was in all these like Facebook support groups, and we had people at church praying, of course. And anyway, I'm so glad that she's okay and that we got her out okay. Cause that was a really scary pregnancy. Now Mark's delivery was worse, except for that epidural falling out. That was really bad. Mark's actual delivery was probably the hardest. Yeah, he's as stubborn in the womb as he is outside the womb. Wasn't his fault. His cord was all wrapped up on it. But yeah, her pregnancy, the fact of not knowing if she was okay and all that.
But what am I talking about? Nate's the most stubborn of all three of them.
Well, Nate took forever. Nate didn't want to come out.
That's what I'm saying.
He had to be evicted.
He's the stubborn one.
Well, he didn't have to be evicted, but he was a week late.
Yeah.
And then I pushed forever.
Mark just got distracted. That's all.
Mark got caught up.
He was jumping rope and got distracted.
Oh my gosh! I didn't think we were ever going to get him out. But yeah, Lucy, I love thinking back to the day she was born, just because of how relieved I was.
Yeah.
It was such a relief to actually have her in our arms, and then, her not having to be in the NICU for long and all of that. Now, she was our baby that did the best breastfeeding after they said, she could probably have the hardest time.
She heard that and said, "I'll watch this."
She's always been like the cuddly one.
Yes.
So it makes sense that she would like breastfeeding.
I miss when you were like, "Do you ever wish you could make them babies again?" Only her. Because the reason is because she loved to be held.
She did.
She was such a cuddler.
She did.
She would fall asleep on me all the time. You would get pictures of her falling asleep on me
now,
all the time.
She also, as a baby though, had terrible acid reflux.
Yes.
That was rough.
Yes.
And she would choke in her sleep or just randomly.
We took her to the urgent care a couple times.
We took her to the pediatrician multiple times. They really didn't understand what I was saying until one time she did it at the pediatrician, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's not normal."
Yeah.
And they really thought there was something wrong with her anatomy of her throat because of how bad the choking was. I tried everything. Like I would go off of dairy or different stuff, trying anything to help. We tried her on different medicine. We had to see like ENT specialist, all this stuff. I didn't sleep at all because I was so worried she was going to choke in her sleep. And I would have to because when she did it, I would have to pat on her back and get her airway clear.
Yeah.
And so I slept with one eye open.
Which means you didn't sleep.
Which means I didn't sleep. And that's why I had postpartum depression with her.
Yes.
Really bad. And of course the stress of Nate, being 2 and not sleeping and being super active. We had no family there. It was a really, really hard time. It was super hard.
But as always, God works all things together for good. Out of the postpartum depression and sleepless nights and everything, blessed Jess was born.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember once I realized I'm not doing well mentally.
You need to talk to somebody.
I went in and talked to my doctor, and I remember, and I love my doctor so much. I remember going in. And
can we take a trip to San Antonio and see everybody, and especially try to find her and see her?
Does she even remember me? She always called me Holly.
Yes.
She's like Holly, because when I came in there after being in the hospital, she's like, "What, Holly? What?" Because I always had easy pregnancies and stuff. I'm like, I know. But anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, I went in there, and they always make you fill out this questionnaire. It's like a screener for postpartum depression, and every single one of them, I could tell I have it. And I remember them saying, "Well, Dr. Schwab is in a delivery right now. You can see one of the other practitioners." And I'm like, I'll wait for her. And I had Lucy with me too, so it wasn't easy to wait, but I waited because I wanted to talk to her. And, she was so great to me. I mean, I just lost it in there and cried. And she was like, "Do you want to hurt her?" Because that's very common, wanting to hurt your baby.
You know it's bad if all of a sudden you look at the most beautiful thing in the world and want to hurt it.
But mine went the complete opposite way.
Yes. You're so scared.
I was so scared something would happen to her. And I think it was a lot of trauma from all the pregnancy and stuff too. But I remember just being so afraid, and I would see what happens if she's choking? What happens if, I was so protective of her. I didn't want anything to happen to her.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with it. And I was like, no, I don't want to hurt her. I'm obsessed with making sure she's okay. And I was just a mess. And so she started me on some medicine. I started feeling better, but that was a rough time.
Yeah. And I was scarred because literally, I don't know if you were trying to protect me or what, but I couldn't be there for you.
You were just so busy with work and stuff.
Y'all, this is how bad it was. I didn't know she had it until after we moved out.
Well, I think you just blocked it out.
No, you never told me.
Yes, I did. Yes, I 100% did.
Honey, in that time frame, I didn't know up from down.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You knew about it. I think you just psychologically
I don't know. If I had known that, it registered, oh my gosh, my wife is depressed and sick, I would have changed something. And I don't
think you could have, though. That was just the season we were in. And you definitely knew. I definitely told you.
Honey, okay. Back to the communication episode. You can think you've told me things, or you can think I know things.
You knew I was going to the doctor for it. You knew I was on medicine. You knew.
I thought you were doing follow-up appointments. I didn't know it was for that.
I'm telling you, I told you. You knew. I just think you've blocked it out. It was a hard time.
Or like I said, it never registered. Like I never made room in my brain for it because I didn't have the ability to do that.
Because he was really helpful with her as much as you could be, because I remember she would wake up in the night and there wasn't much you could do. But like with Nate, you could give him a bottle for me or whatever.
Right.
When she would wake up, she would want a nurse. And we tried every single bottle.
That girl does not want bottles.
She would not take one. And so,
and now she won't drink milk. What's up with that?
One time her acid reflux and breathing got so bad, we had to call an ambulance and they took her to the hospital.
See, you ruined her. Milk's disgusting. That's what she says all the time. Jessica's ruined her because she wouldn't take a bottle. All she would take is breast milk.
Yeah, she was just funny about that.
Because you don't drink milk, so all she got was your milk. And then when she had the real stuff, she's like, I don't want this.
I would pump, and she still didn't want it.
I'm just saying she's getting her breast milk from a woman who hates milk.
I'm just saying though, like she wouldn't drink breast milk out of a bottle. She was so funny about it.
She's funny.
And so anytime I would have to leave her.
Did she have trouble with sippy cups too?
No, she took that. She finally took that. But if I had to leave her with someone, I was so stressed out because even when she got so hungry, she was screaming and everything, and I wasn't there, she still would not take a bottle. Mm-hmm. And it was so stressful because I felt like I could never leave her.
But fast forward 11 years.
11 years. We've made it.
We've had so many great memories with her. She can a girl get autism? Yes, absolutely. But it's less likely.
Boys are more likely.
Boys are more likely to get it.
Definitely girls have it too.
And so, but when we watched her, especially
oh my gosh, she talked
with the initial comparison. Yeah, before she was 2, she was completing full sentences and just talking our ears off.
When she was a baby, Nate started getting speech therapy. They started with that, and they were trying to get him to talk, and she was the one
doing all the talking.
She was like not even one.
But say this.
I know, it was like, we thought there was something going on with Nate. We knew that there's a genetic component with autism. We kind of thought but once we had her and we saw the difference in the two,
then there was a definite we have something.
Yeah,
here.
something is, and I know every baby's different, but just like the comparison between the two. Yeah. But I could think of a no better sister for Nate than her. No. Anytime anybody's like, how should you treat an autistic person? Look at their sibling, watch Lucy, because she includes him in everything.
Yes.
She supports his needs.
She's a lot, I'm just going to be real. She's a lot better to him than I was to Kevin.
Well, she's a girl too.
That's what I'm saying.
And she's very nurturing.
There's something about, I think that if I had an autistic little sister, it would have been different. I'm just being honest. Well,
I don't think boys are as nurturing either.
Well, not only that, but the competitive thing of boys want what each other has. Boys want the same stuff. We want the same kind of attention. We want the same kind of, play. If I'd had a little sister, there's a big brother protector thing that comes in. But I mean, and trust me, if the only person allowed to pick on Kevin was me, if anybody else picked on him, they didn't go home in one piece that day. But there was a lot of times I would watch Lucy and I would just pray and thank God that she's so good with Nate.
Oh, she's amazing.
And she's so good.
And she's so good with Mark.
Yes.
And we're so blessed to have her. Like, I say this all the time. I don't know what I would do without her.
Yeah.
I don't have enough hands to take care of both of the boys, and she helps me so much. Mm-hmm. Like, she'll hold one of their hands in the parking lot because I can't, I physically can't keep everybody. Like, I only have so many hands.
Right.
And when I say she's got them, she's got them.
Yes, she does.
They will listen to her. They respect her.
Yes, they do.
And they love her so much.
Unless Mark fights with her.
Well, yeah.
Then he knows she wins, and he runs off and slams the door and says, "I'm mad."
But her and Nate always have had such a bond.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever fought.
No. Did you fight with Tim?
No.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have autism either. So
that's true.
It's kind of a different dynamic.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Tim was like, my baby brother was like my baby brother, Wow. I looked at him in like a very nurturing way.
Yeah.
So I think that's how she sees Nate.
Yeah.
Even though she's a little sister, she's very nurturing to him.
She's his big sister.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So we love Lucy.
We
never said, but her name I had picked out ever since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
I love Lucy. And I just loved the name Lucy. And so I just thought Lucy Kate was so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So we had her name picked out way before anybody else's.
And I remember you and I were talking about it, that growing up, a show that was huge while we were teenagers and in college was Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
And on Seventh Heaven, they have a daughter named Lucy. And I remember watching that going, that's a name you don't hear.
Yeah, Lucy now is more popular. When we were talking about it, I didn't
Nobody
know
had Lucy.
anybody named Lucy. Those more old-fashioned names are coming back.
And it's not Lucille Kate, it's Lucy Kate. But we didn't do Lucille,
No.
which is what Lucille Ball's real name
But
is. Yeah.
I like to say, she wasn't necessarily named after Lucille Ball. She was
No.
named after Lucy
On Seventh-
Ricardo.
Ricardo.
Yeah, she was named after, because I just love that
I love
show.
that, and I love that picture that Shay got you of or was it? It's not. Was it Shay or what was it? Who was it at Kingwood? They got you the picture of Lucy and Ricky on the that it's in Lucy's room.
It's not Ricky. It's just Lucy.
That's
My
right.
mom had commissioned an artist in our church to paint that for
That's
her.
right.
And it says "We Love Lucy" on it.
Yes.
And it has Lucy. It has Lucy on it.
You had to ruin that take, didn't you?
I'm sorry. It was like a.
I'll edit all that out.
It sounded like no, just leave it in. It sounded like a gunshot went off.
There's people working on the piping outside.
Okay. Yeah, but I love that painting too. I feel like it'll always be in her room.
Yeah. I hope she takes it with her and uses it forever.
It was my Christmas present, but it's really hers too.
It's hers.
It's both of ours.
It's hers.
Yeah.
We do love you, Lucy. Happy
Love Lucy.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
And we love all of you. We appreciate you listening and watching. If you are listening on an audio podcast platform, please give this episode and this podcast 5 stars. Leave us a comment. If you have a question or a voice question you want to send to us that's more lengthy and you can't fit it in the comments or don't want to fit it in the comments, you can send that to us at married15tolife@mail.com. married15tolife@mail.com. Please send them to us. We're going to be doing a Q&A episode here in the near future, and we want as many questions and comments as possible. Sweetheart?
If you're watching on YouTube, definitely make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below. Definitely subscribe if you're new. We'll see y'all later.
And don't hit the microphone on your way out. But
Oh, I said I'll see y'all later like I'm ending the vlog.
if you want to
Sorry.
end it now, we can.
No, that's okay.
Okay, well, you're looking at your phone, which means it's time to go. So until next time, everybody, I'm David.
I'm Jess.
I'm the husband.
I'm the wife.
And we are married.
15 to life.
Happy birthday, Lucy.
Happy birthday, Lucy.
We love you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.